GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Well, you know something, Mean Gene. When I want to win some money, I listen to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. What you gonna do, dude? You're gonna listen to it, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna win some money. What you gonna do when these 26-inch pythons run wild on you, brother?
Here we go. Hey, everything on three. Number three. Win on one. Oh, win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win it. Hey, on the next up from that. Eyes on three. Everything on 3. 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. It's your boy, CHAZZ, and with me, as almost always, I am joined by the no nickname, no nonsense.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Adam Van Houten. Adam, what's up, dog?
What is going on, guys? What's happening?
And back for the attack after taking a week off for his 65th birthday, we have the one and only the fantasy football surgeon himself, Zags. What's up, dude?
Bro, can I identify as 65 so I can get Social Security? Can I do that? Is that a thing?
I don't know if that's how it works, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. It's 2023. You might be able to do anything now.
I identify as 60. It was my 65th birthday. U.S. government. I will be expecting checks in the mail.
Boom. How was your birthday?
That's all right, man. It's good. Just gotta keep it low key. I am officially old, so I don't do anything crazy.
I hate to break it to you. You've been officially.
I've been officially old, and I'm just getting older.
How old are you, Zach?
37, bro.
37. Wow.
37.
Cash, you're what? Aren't you 37 too?
Yeah, for a couple months till February.
Oof.
Big 3-8 in February. Big party down in Nashville, February. Let's fucking go.
Bring it, boys. We're ready.
I'm fucking ready.
We're
I'll get down there.
Country music superstar Eric Van Houten and I are waiting for you, man.
I'm ready. So how's Titan Nation down there after a big win?
They're buzzing. I'll tell you.
Are they? That's a good
They're
win.
buzzing,
That was a dominant.
Unexpected. Yeah, unexpected for sure. I mean, Joe Burrow just looks like dog shit. The whole Bengals team looks like dog shit.
Oh.
Higgins got hurt. I mean, Chase had some catches, but Burrow only threw for like 160 yards.
He needs to be benched, and I don't mean that just because A, he's shitty, but B, he's either shitty or hurt, right? So there's no
that calf injury is it's fucking with him, I think.
Yeah, he needs to go on the bench.
But it's Joe Burrow though. He's just gonna play hurt all year and go into the offseason and try and recover and see what happens.
Dave, how many shares of Joe Burrow do you have? I don't know if you got a ton.
I mean, do you want to ruin one of my segments right now?
I mean, we'll get into it because I'm sure I know it's going. I'm just asking how many segments, how many.
I got shares of Joe Burrow in 3 leagues, but in those 3 leagues, fortunately enough, I also was a big fan of Anthony Richardson this year, so I took him a lot. Even when I did snag Joe Burrow, so thank God for Anthony Richardson for saving my ass.
Yeah, he's looking good, man. He's putting up points. He's getting those rushing yards as well. So,
yeah, I'm unlucky because I got Joe Burrow in the one family league I'm in where my team is just beyond stacked. Like I've showed you guys on my bench, I have like Josh Jacobs, Calvin Ridley, like starters on the bench, and David.
I just traded for Joe Burrow. He put up 4 points.
So I'm stuck in this.
I still got the win. And that's thanks to Kieran Williams, Stephon Diggs. I needed 16 points going into tonight, and I had Tyler Lockett and Ken Walker going. And they came through. So
I actually just made a trade. I also acquired Burrow in another league, but you guys are not going to believe this trade. I put a trade through. I traded Justin Fields off the back of his 4-touchdown game for Austin Eckler and Joe Burrow, and I already have Anthony Richardson in that league. So Joe Burrow will be my backup, and I just acquired Austin Eckler for like next to nothing.
So
Wow.
I'm hoping in the league I have Burrow, it's my family league, and they all have 2 or 3 quarterbacks. Like, so when I say there's nobody on the waiver wire, like the best quarterback on the waiver wire is literally like Ryan Tannehill. Like, it's absurd. So like, but I got such a deep bench. Hopefully, I can make a trade with somebody. But like, God, I'm just now but now that there's like, you're getting to like the bye weeks. The bye weeks are coming. I have a feeling that like they're holding these quarterbacks for bye weeks, and then they're gonna play them and then drop them, and I'll be able to snag somebody. But I'm just not comfortable.
I just remembered I got Joe Burrow off waivers. Somebody dropped him in one of my other leagues. I'm 0-4, so I have first priority every single week. Justin Fields is on the waivers right now. I'm snagging him, and I'm just gonna roll. I have Dak Prescott. Now I have Joe Burrow. I started Jared Goff this week. Could have been a lot better if David Montgomery didn't snag 3 touchdowns, so that was tough. But I ended up losing that league again. But I'm going for Justin Fields, and I'm just gonna roll with him. I don't think Burrow is completely done. I think there are good days coming, but I don't know, man. It's tough, and he's very, very close to the fantasy graveyard.
Oh, he's there for me at the moment. Like I'm not gonna, but I know we're gonna talk about him more later. So so let's start. I'm gonna lean on you guys for this one. How
about them Bills, baby? Let's go. Hey, let's
Jay, do you want to start?
Decisive win, boys. Decisive win.
Absolutely.
I think the biggest takeaway, I mean, honestly, everybody looked good. I think the biggest takeaway is like everybody was kind of going into this game a little bit nervous. Oh, the Dolphins just put up 70 points. The Dolphins just put up 70 points. The Bills defense is not the Broncos defense. And I think,
not even close.
I think that they showed that on Sunday. It was a great game.
100%.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And the hype around the Dolphins, let there be hype. That's fine. And they are a good team. They're very good. They have 2 great running backs. Tua has shown what he can do in this league. And they have the fastest offense in the league between Mostert, Achane, Waddle, and Tyreek Hill. But yeah, the Bills defense, they just completely took out Tyreek Hill from the game. They let Achane run for 2 touchdowns. Fine. They did not give up that deep play, and that is huge.
We have a special guest.
Oh, there she is. It's about time she shows up.
It's been. Oh wait, I got a drop for that too.
Kermit the Frog.
Nope, wrong one.
It's been a while.
That's the one. Yeah, she's. I just looked at her and she's like a watery eye. I hope she's okay. She's not feeling good, I guess. Say hi, everybody. She's missing Jay right now. Okay, so like,
she is.
I don't have much to. Ow. Okay, I don't have much to say about the game because I didn't watch it because I was so like I was nervous about it, even though I got offered free tickets. And Daniel Jones threw a pick 6. I was nervous about it, and I had I wanted to go to Cedar Point one last time before summer was over, so I was at Cedar Point. But I just watching my phone. I'm like, I wasn't watching the phone, but after like every like ride, I'd be like, okay, let me check the phone. Oh, it's 14-14. Oh, it's 21-14. Oh, it's 28-14. Oh, it's 35. What the hell is happening? Like, I just know.
Yeah. Josh looked incredible. I mean, Josh made a lot of smart plays. Diggs was insane. Diggs was just crazy.
Absolute fire. That guy was into it 100%.
Yeah. His second touchdown catch, I mean, if you just look at the stat line, you might think that like he went for a bomb. That second touchdown catch, like he made a great catch and deked the crap out of the defender and just took it to the house. It was just an insane touchdown. I do have one thing to say, and I don't want to put it in my I'm so high second because we have so much to talk about this week. But I feel like with I want to talk about McDermott for a second. I feel like he made a terrible, terrible call. People, I don't know if people know, but we lost Trey White, torn Achilles for the season. I feel like that game was in hand to the point where starters should not have been in the game in that point, and we end up and I talked about it. All day Trey has not been all day Trey, but he's still a very, very good corner, and to lose him in almost meaningless situation is like, I don't know, bro. I'm a little upset about that.
I didn't even know it was like that. Like I said, because I hadn't been watching, so that
It was
pains me.
it was a decided victory early on in that game. And,
Yeah, it was very.
I
I mean,
mean,
it was at the threshold. I think we. I want to say I think we were up 3 scores at that point.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I understand
Here,
you got to
here's my
respect.
thing. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead. I'll wait till you're done.
I understand you got to respect the team that just put up 70 points, but like,
Yeah.
also we got that, like, we got that game in hand. Like, pull the starters, and if the second string defense is really having a problem, you still have time to put it back, to put the first stringers back in and get the game back under control. Like, it was just way too risky, and we paid like the ultimate price for it.
I agree and I disagree, and I talk about this all the time and how much I love how I just want coaches to bury teams. I don't like this conservative thing that they get going into, and does it suck that we lost Trey White again? Yeah. He was having a decent season. He wasn't lights out like he was when he came into the league. But with that being said, I do agree it was handled, that we were handling them very easily. Tua was flustered. I think we sacked him like 4 or 5 times. I want to say the final sack line was, and he'd only been sacked once in the previous 3 games. So that was big for us. A lot of balls batted down at the line of scrimmage, which was huge. So that game was really ours, and I agree that we probably should have had our second string in, and if it was starting to get close again, then you put them back in. But I think that mentality is like, it's kind of demoralizing a little bit for your guys that have to step up and play the game, right? But they don't even really let Kyle Allen throw anyway, so it would have just been running the football the entire time for like 2 quarters, because we really could have put our second stringers in before the 3rd quarter ended. So
Yeah. Even when Kyle Allen,
it's
like, oh, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say it's kind of that teetering line that you don't want to. These guys are going to get put in the game and see what they can do, right? And then it's like, oh, well, shit, nope, guys, come back out. We're going to put the first one stringers back in, and I don't know. It does suck. There was a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. It was tough. But
Yeah, I mean,
we pulled it out, and we did look good on offense.
even at the end there, though, when Kyle Allen was in and we were just milking clock, like, Cook was still in there running the ball. I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, Latavius Murray
he looked good.
Yeah, he was running like a beast,
he was,
dude.
he was running hard.
Like, dude, get James Cook out of here. Like, we already lost Trey. Like, what is happening? Get him out of here, bro.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean,
it was a dominant win. It was, to me, it was a statement win, and it's 3 games in a row where the Bills put up more than 38. So I'm here for it. I love the way the offense looks. I hope they can keep buzzing. Let's keep burying teams. And
well,
then,
they played, from what I see, they played the exact way that I said. The only way they'll not be competitive, but the only way this defense can get away with how bad they are at run defense is they got to put up 30-something points, and because when you get ahead like that, you can't run. I mean, yeah, dominant win. How many rushing yards and touchdowns did Miami have? A bit. You know what I'm saying? So like, if it was a close game, it would have been scary. But since we didn't take our foot off the gas pedal,
So A-Shane had 2 rushing touchdowns, but he was just over 100 yards. That was about it.
Still, you want every running back coming in Buffalo rushing for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns? No.
But we also had the ability to, we stopped Josh Jacobs he had -2 yards at the end of the game. And I know it's the Raiders; they're a little bit lesser of an offense than the Miami Dolphins are, but at the same time, you just have to look at it and go, hey, you know what? They gave up 100 yards on the ground, but they gave up like just over 200 yards in the air. And to guys that make big plays constantly, they had to make plays.
Also, garbage time started a little bit early in that game,
It did.
and that
Definitely did.
I do feel like the defense might have been playing just not to get beat by like Tyreek over the top and just give up a quick score and be okay with them giving up that run. Like, let them score the rushing touchdown, but burn 6 minutes off the clock. Like, I feel like they were kind of okay with it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
I
fine
agree.
as long as they're putting up points like that, and that's more of the offensive side and not taking the foot off the gas pedal, which they did in week 1 and they haven't since. So like, good, keep it up,
Yeah,
please.
yep, love it.
Keep it up. Don't do anything
Absolutely.
different because you're in London. I don't care if you're playing in Timmy's bedroom or whatever it is. Just
Can we talk about the marketing campaign right there real
Oh
quick?
man,
Oh my god. Every time they say that, I cringe.
yeah.
did any of
Andy's
you guys check it
bedroom, the
out?
Toy Story world.
Did anybody,
I only saw highlights of it. It was for kids. It looked tacky to me. It was poorly done. I don't know why they have this um whatever this contract or agreement with Nickelodeon or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. It just looks weird to me. It's I don't know. It's bad production, I think. But I mean, but I guess you have to appeal to all audiences. So who knows?
they don't like us
But
men.
I am not a fan of it at all.
They want women and children. They're sick of us men. That's why they're all focusing
Apparently,
on Taylor Swift.
yeah,
I'm gonna
true.
I'm gonna look at the positive here. How about all those dads that like try to watch the game, but like the 2-year-old just mobs the TV? Like this is kind of a sneaky way to be able to watch the football game and have your child not cause a ruckus.
Yeah, I guess I see your point there, and I understand it. But like, as a grown man, like even with kids around, like that's a little dicey for me. But hey, if it's working for them, it's working. You know, NFL is a multi-billion-dollar company, but
It was just practice for something else. Like it was just
probably,
it was just testing technology for something else. I don't know what.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It was just something else.
yeah.
It's just like a public testing of some kind of technology. But all I know is even in Andy's bedroom, Bijan Robinson looked great. There was that one play I saw
Yeah.
of him like make that cut on the toy, and he looked fantastic. So that's like
He does look good. He does look good, and he's a dominant force in their offense. Unfortunately, they don't have a quarterback that can do anything else.
that's
Drake London had a touchdown, great, but
but
I
everything
mean,
that I said about that team,
everything else sucks.
he's still dominant, and they're still tied for the first in the division because Derek Carr is probably the second worst starting quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, I don't know if you get
He did not look good either.
pretty awful right now. Like, whoo, he's awful.
really
And I know it's hurting Saints Joe, but Saints Joe literally texted me and said, "Man, I can't watch Derek Carr anymore." Like, I'm like, "Welcome, bro." Like,
Hey, you watched him for years on the Raiders.
and he shows flashes.
He does.
But like, okay, I did want to talk about that game a little bit, just because like I know we're a fantasy football show and we're going to be excited about Alvin Kamara's 13 catch game. Was it 13 catches?
Yep, 13 catches, but it was only like 33 yards.
Like that is absolutely
34 yards.
awful.
It was bad.
efficiency. Like,
But he ran for like 56.
Yes,
so
that to me is like one. a
But
game
he's
like
always
that-
been a guy that catches a high volume of passes though.
yeah.
So
But a game
for
like
fantasy owners, Saints Joe, that offer that you offered me for Kamara, let's get that price up there, guy.
But a game like that is gonna make people revert back to like non PPR or like half PPR because of a game like that. That guy got
Yeah.
16 points for 33 yards, and
Mhm.
that if we're just talking about the passing, like
Right. Yeah,
That-
no, you're right.
so
100%.
that'll make people want to change that, and I don't, I'm all for PPR, but I understand. Why people would switch to half point. I know Dave's league is half point, and I get it. Like,
I'm
when
in
you see
I'm
something-
in one of my other leagues is half point as well, and I do have Kamara in that league, and it was only 16 points, but everything said and done, and no touchdowns. It's his first game back after the suspension. I would think that they're gonna get him more involved. Honestly, though, I don't know how long Derek Carr is gonna last as their starting quarterback. I think Jameis Winston may have done a little bit better. I personally like Jameis Winston. I know he throws a ton of interceptions, but he also throws for a ton of yards.
They should.
So we'll see what happens there in New Orleans. But I mean, yeah, as a fantasy owner of Alvin Kamara in 4 out of my 5 leagues, I'm in.
They should be starting Taysom Hill. I don't understand why they put broken ass Derek Carr in there. So it just makes no sense.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's talk about the top performances of the week. Ready for the top 5 tight ends?
Sure.
At number 5,
I think Mark Andrews got to be up there.
at number 5, we've got Andrew Ogletree. Who? At number 4,
tight end for the Colts, I believe.
Yeah, at number 4 we have Jake Ferguson. Who? No, we know what that is. The
Tight end for the Dallas Cowboys.
At number 3 we have Atlanta Falcons tight end Jonnu Smith. Fuck.
Not Kyle Pitts.
Like what the
Not
fuck?
Kyle Pitts, by the way.
At number 2 is Mark Andrews with 25 points. At number 1 is Cole Kmet with 27.6 points. So
Yep. 2 touchdowns. He had a big game, but that's about all he's going to do for the season. So I wouldn't go rushing out there to pick him up. We saw it last year. He did the same thing. So just be careful on Cole Kmet.
And then our big argument, Dave, between said Kyle Pitts and Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert 4.5 points. Kyle Pitts 4.4 points. So these guys
it's a heated battle, bro.
Heated, bro. They're going at it, man.
And this is a good time to put Kyle Pitts in the fantasy graveyard. He has not been good. He has disappointed fantasy owners year after year after year. And I know it's the Falcons are a run-heavy team, but they also need a better quarterback. They need better quarterback play to get this giant superstar of a tight end, so they say, the ball, and they're not doing it. And until he proves something, or until Arthur Smith decides that he has a stud at tight end, Kyle Pitts, you're in the graveyard, bud.
He's got excuses at least. What's Dallas Goedert's deal?
They have AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just too much talent on that team, and I feel like he's just been phased out at this point.
And like another one that I was arguing that was crap again and hurt, and that's Pat Freiermuth. So like the tight end is not working, and now they're starting to get hurt. So like, what the hell is happening? Like, we're
losing tight ends.
It's Kelsey or bust. Andrews sometimes. So let's talk about the top 5 wide receivers of the week. And at number 5, we've got, against me, DJ Moore. At number 4, we got Dave's boy, Puka Nacua. At number 3, we got, as we all drew up, Nico Collins.
Of course.
37.8 points. At number 2, we had Stephon Diggs with 38 points. And at number 1, against me in the Fantasy Football Bros League, AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
So
175 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So those are some
great day for him. Yeah.
Those
are the guys that should be, they should be making plays like that. Well, maybe not so much Nico Collins because nobody really knew who he was, but CJ Stroud looks good.
Nico Collins is sneaky in daily fantasy, bro.
He really is. He's cheap.
Yeah, he's cheap all the time. He's boomer bust, but he's cheap all the time.
Yep. He's been fairly consistent. He's not putting up superstar numbers like he did last week, but I think moving forward, he probably will. He's probably a good play.
The problem with what I realize over and this is a credit I think to CJ Stroud, is Nico Collins, and then next week it's going to be Tank Dell, and then the next week it's going to be Robert Woods, and that's a testament to actually that CJ Stroud is playing good, So that game surprised me. They murdered the Steelers, and I guys, I'm going to call it right now. Kenny Pickett, you suck. You're done. You're done. It can't
he did suffer the knee injury, so he's out for a couple weeks.
You can't just you can't quote South Park and just blame Matt Canada. You can't just blame Canada. Something has to be held on Kenny Pickett. He started for more than a full year in this league now, and he has not progressed a fucking centimeter. A centimeter he hasn't.
And not to mention, who are they throwing to? Allen Robinson? Give me a break.
George Pickens. But now they're good. Yeah, Pat Freiermuth is hurt. Deontay Johnson is hurt. What about throwing to Najee Harris? Come on. He had a decent game. He didn't score or anything, but it wasn't great. 75 yards on the ground.
Najee's getting the stack box treatment though, and that's on
True.
Kenny. That's on Kenny Pickett too. They're
It is.
daring them to throw the ball because they know that the Steelers offense is not going to be able to move the ball through the air. And I think people are really down on Najee. And if Kenny Pickett was even just the slightest bit of a threat, Najee is already having a better season. But it's like stack 8 in the box, and we will dare you to throw it 1-on-1. You're not going to make the play.
And I think they're going to be better putting in Mitch Please, because Mitch can at least make some stuff happen with his legs a little bit, get out of the pocket, make some runs a little bit more. I have more faith in him doing that than Kenny Pickett. And I don't think Kenny Pickett is him. I never thought he was him. And I think Mitch is underrated. It doesn't mean like Mitch is going to come in, this team's going to go on a tear. But I think it's going to just be better for the offense in general.
I agree, and I think it'll be nice to see if Trubisky can do something over there. I don't know, man. That winning record that Mike Tomlin has over there is in danger this year.
That's very true. You guys ready for the top 5 running backs?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's get it.
At number 5 for the second week in a row in the top 5, we have Devin Achan. And number 4, we have Kyron Williams, who I believe got banged up. It says is dealing with a hip injury. At number 3, we have Josh Jacobs. We have Josh Jacobs.
Double J here again.
At number 2, we have
Bumbles,
our junior of David Montgomery at 34 points. And then this fucking monster at number 1. Fucking Christian McCaffrey, 48.7 points. Are you shitting me? Nearly 50 points, and that's and probably 50, definitely over 50 points in leagues that give you bonuses. So, like, man, like, how could anyone ever consider taking any running back over Christian McCaffrey? And
I watched football all day yesterday. Right, I had 3 TVs going. I had Red Zone on one. I had other games going on. I had someone tell me that Derrick Henry was the best running back in the league. I said, you are out of your fucking mind if you don't think Christian McCaffrey is the best in the league, and he's been the best in the league. I don't care when Derrick Henry is running for 200 yards a game. Christian McCaffrey is a Swiss Army knife on that offense, and they only use him. It's crazy. And Brandon Ayuk had a great game too. But Brock Purdy is the real deal. Christian McCaffrey, though, there's nobody better.
McCaffrey had 4 touchdowns on Sunday. Could have had 5.
Yeah.
Easily could have had 5 because Purdy took the 1 yard plunge. If they wanted to, they could have given that to McCaffrey and he would have walked in
all day. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just and to be fair with this San Francisco worship, Brock Purdy worship, they haven't played anybody really, have they? So, like, let's get them on some good teams. And I think they're playing, Dallas next week? So now we're going to see, right? Now they beat, the Jets, the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Steelers.
Look it up.
And the Steelers.
Yeah, they've had a soft run.
Let's be fair.
It's been easy. Right? Sure, it's been easy. Yes. But you have to have somebody who is competent to be able to beat these teams. Like, the Giants barely beat the Cardinals after they had to come back and win, so it's like, I mean, I don't want to say Brock Purdy he's only had an easy schedule. So what?
No, you got to beat the teams. That's what I'm saying. So, like, it's just this big San Francisco love, and everyone's like, they're the greatest team in the world. All right, bring it in a little bit. Like, they got a good team coming in now. Let's see what happens. Like, now it's time to see what happens with this team. So, I mean, yeah, Brock Purdy had a 95% completion percentage, and it averaged 10 yards an attempt. Like, that's not great, but it's working for their offense right now. But is that going to work if you're playing a good team and you're down? Right? So that's where, it's going to go. He's averaging like Jimmy Garoppolo numbers, and that's actually, he's averaging lower than Jimmy Garoppolo numbers. To have 2 attempts and 280 yards, that's like 10.4 yards in a time. I don't know. It's something like that. But, like, still, if they're down, they're going to have to show me they can play when they're down, and they're not ready yet. And that's just San Francisco in general. San Francisco has failed miserably at the end of the year every single year. So you're
not wrong, and they do lose in the playoffs, and they have. I get that. But it's just If you don't ever have a chance to play from behind, you're never going to find out.
True. That's what I say about the Bills, right? But the Bills have had at least one hard team, the Dolphins. So I feel a little bit more confident in the Bills. But this is a good test.
I'll even say that the Bills are the best team in the league right now, even over Kansas City, the way that they've been struggling the past couple of weeks. But that's just me.
Oh, I forgot. I got a segment for the Fantasy Football Graveyard, guys. Here we go. All right, rest in peace, Fantasy Football Graveyard. Actually, NFL Football Graveyard. Every single team in the AFC other than the Kansas City Chiefs. Rest in peace, because there's no way that the Kansas City Chiefs are not in the Super Bowl the next 2 years as long as Travis Kelce's dating Taylor Swift. There's no way. 0% chance she's not in that box and the Super Bowl with Travis Kelce, and they're like, look, you see Usher performing, girl? You see that? That could be you next year. That could be you. 0% chance. I will put all my money on the AFC champion to be Kansas City if this hot item sticks together. 0% chance.
We'll see what happens.
That's where I'm going. Because
to be honest with you, I think it's absolutely hysterical. The media covers that Taylor Swift gets at a Chiefs game, and just in general, like it's.
The NFL changed the background on their Twitter.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Okay.
So, have you looked at the Sleeper app, by the way?
I have not.
Look at the Sleeper app and look up Travis Kelce. They changed Travis Kelce's picture to a picture of Taylor Swift.
Oh my goodness! And I think I deleted the Sleeper app. But anyway, it's just wild stuff. There's no chance the Bills make the Super Bowl if they're still dating. That's all I'm saying. So let's talk about the top 5 quarterbacks before we get in our segment. At number 5, we've got Mr. Herbert, Justin Herbert, 24.3 points. At number 4, we have Lamar Jackson at 21.8 points. At number 3, we have Justin Fields, 28.9 points.
Feels so good. Sell now. Fire sell.
At number 2, we have 29.6 points, Anthony Richardson. And at number 1, we got Big Josh himself at 36.5 points for the weekend. And watching this Geno Smith versus Daniel Jones battle, I don't think these guys are going to overtake any of those guys.
No, I think you're good.
So
I think we're good there.
It's definitely going to be Dan Jones.
To be fair, though, like those are actually some pretty big names, I was high on Richardson, but other than the other 4 were consensus top like 6 guys, right? So that's great to see. Right underneath them is Jalen Hurts, top 6 guy, and right underneath him is Baker Mayfield, like we all drew up.
And Russell Wilson, surprisingly.
And Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah, surprisingly, Russell Wilson, even though they're getting torched, he's still putting up numbers because he has no choice.
No, he's doing all right. So
he is. He's doing all right. He's doing a lot better than last year, that's for sure.
So there's your high performers of the week, and let's get into our segments. Adam, which one do you want to start with, buddy?
Let's go with. Let's get dunked on. Come on, bring it to me.
Instead of swing, Xavier goes down the middle. Slam dunk.
Get dunked on, bro.
All right, who you dunking on, Adam?
Oh, I am dunking on the NFL referees in the Kansas City New York Jets game for absolutely blowing that holding call on Sauce Gardner at the end of the game there. That is how you're going to decide the Chiefs win the game. Obviously, the Jets didn't get the ball back because of Patrick Mahomes and the game management at the end of the game. It was like under 2 minutes. But what a weak call that was on Sauce. My man's playing perfect defense. Bear doesn't even touch him. A little hand fighting, but to call a holding penalty in that spot, what if the Jets would have beat the Chiefs? But to decide that and it's another game. I hate to say it, that there's like this conspiracy of everybody loves the Chiefs and this whole Taylor Swift thing, but it's just so hard not to think it when you see shit like that. And it was just so bad. And I'm dunking on the refs. Get your acts together, figure it out. And speaking of the refs, I'm also going to dunk on the refs in this game tonight because they're just throwing flags. I think they've picked up like 7 flags because guys are throwing and they huddle in and it takes like 5 minutes for them to pick up a flag. Get it together, referees. Come on, man.
Well, it's hard with Daniel Jones throwing interceptions every 4.
I mean, you're right. It's not great. Trust me. This is a this is a bad game.
Awful game.
It's boring. It's boring.
Isn't Josh
But-
Allen dating some famous chick? Like, how come we're not getting this coverage?
It's not Taylor Swift. It doesn't matter.
I don't even know honestly who the girl is. Josh
It's Jerry Seinfeld's kid.
Oh, that's wait. He's dating Jerry Seinfeld.
I
Maybe.
mean, Jerry Seinfeld's daughter.
Let's go, Dave. Who are you gonna dunk on?
Special get dunked on since we were talking about the Chiefs game for Patrick Mahomes not scoring that touchdown and covering the spread. You're a turd. You're a turd. Patrick Mahomes, just run it in that zone, please. Okay. Chaz, do you have your calendar?
I know why.
So today is going to be a good day for you. Today is going to be a day you're going to want to mark down, because as a man, there's some things that you don't want to do, but you go ahead and do them because you know that's the right thing. And today is going to be that day for me because we're going to talk about the Tennessee Titans and my boy DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, was that? Did you need that?
I mean, a little bit. Okay, so the dunked on. I want to be clear. DeAndre Hopkins is not performing the way that I thought that he was going to perform, and I just want to say that this is not on DeAndre Hopkins. My get dunked on is on Ryan fucking Tannehill. What the hell is wrong with this dude? I mean, for fuck's sakes, okay, if you go back and look at DeAndre Hopkins' stats last year, in 9 games last year, DeAndre Hopkins had 64 receptions, 720 yards, and 3 TDs. He played 3 of those games with Kyler Murray, and the other 6, he played with Colt McCoy and Trace McSorley, who are both not even on fucking NFL rosters right now. And then this year, in 4 games, he's got 18 receptions and 216 yards with 0 fucking touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill, you are worse than Colt McCoy. You are worse than Trace McSorley. You have a wide receiver that if you throw anything within a 5-foot spread will just suction that shit in. Like, what the fuck is going on with Ryan Tannehill?
I mean, he's Ryan Tannehilling. I'm pretty sure, like going into. Did Ryan Tannehill throw a touchdown pass this week, Adam?
I don't believe he did.
Okay,
I believe Derrick Henry did, though.
That's what I was going to say. So actually, Ryan Tannehill is tied with Keenan Allen and Derrick Henry for touchdown passes. That's your boy, Ryan Tannehill. He's got the same amount of touchdown passes as Keenan Allen. And
that's amazing. That's a wild stat. It really is, and it sucks because, man, Dave, we were so high on our boy.
DeAndre Hopkins produced with Trace McSorley and Colt fucking McCoy, dude.
Legend.
I thought the dude was bulletproof. I thought he's QB proof. It doesn't matter. Ryan Tannehill, what is going on, dude? Get it together. You have to put it within 5 feet of this guy, and he will suction that thing up like a Hoover. Just get it anywhere. Just get it anywhere close to the dude, and he's gonna catch it.
I think Tannehill's dogging it. I think he signed his big money deal, the last one he's ever going to get. Hopkins. He signed his big money deal, the last big money deal he's ever going to get. And now every week he's like, I can't practice this week. I'm just going to go and play. Like he's just being, he's being the fucking veteran and playing hurt, making his money. And then next year he's going to sign with the Chiefs or something. And that's what he's going to do. He's getting his last big payday. He put his foot in his mouth when he said he's going to go to a contender with an elite quarterback, and you chose there. That just proves you don't want a win. You're not a winner if you're going to fucking play with Ryan Tannehill. You're not a winner. You want money, and that's why it's not working there. And watch, next year he's going to go sign with KC and be pretty good again. And it's it's like it's ridiculous. And maybe he'll step it up, but I mean, we're 4 weeks.
We're 4 games into the season, and he just is not it.
This is a quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah, we're 25% through, bro. Like it's
Treylon Burks was out yesterday, and they still didn't get him the ball.
Well,
that's saying something.
Yeah, that's rough. So yeah, I feel you there, Dave. I feel you there. Adam, you're gonna appreciate my dunk. I
I
am
always
dunking.
appreciate your dunks.
I am dunking on Captain Conservative himself, Ron Rivera, the one that they call Riverboat Ron because he's so aggressive. You are beating you're beating the Eagles all game, the defending NFC Championship. You're handing them, they're coming back. You and your team drive down the end of the game to tie it, right? If you kick the extra point, or you could show some balls and go for the 2 point and beat the team that you can't stop the whole fourth quarter. What do we do? Are we going to go and win the game? Nah, bro, let's kick that fucking extra point and let them just run down our throat and beat us at the end of the game. Come on, dude, be better. Be a little aggressive. You shouldn't have beat that team. You shouldn't have been in that position. You should have went for the throat. You let them back in. They come down. You don't go for the 2 point. They run right down the field and fucking whoop your ass.
Yeah, that was my dunk last week. If you remember, I dunked on all these conservative coaches and making these calls, and they're blowing games for their teams, and it's so frustrating to like. And that was a really good game to watch. Truthfully, Eagles they struggled a little bit with Washington's defense. I mean, ultimately they obviously won the game, but yeah, Ron Rivera got conservative at the end there and didn't put his foot on their throats. And yeah, it cost them the game and a division game nonetheless.
Can we officially strip him of his Riverboat title?
I think people started calling that like joking about it, and then he kind of like took it and started to be a little aggressive, like maybe going for it on 4th and 1 once every 7 weeks, and then he then decided to just get rid of it again because I don't ever think of him as that kind of guy.
Once every 7 weeks, he goes for it on 4th and 1, and everybody is like, "Oh, Riverboat's at it again."
Seriously, can you think of him being aggressive? Like he doesn't come across that way ever. Like I don't think of any of that. Like any of the Chicago team or the Carolina teams. No, nothing. I don't. So I don't know. He's a good coach in general, but like, man, that team isn't good, and he gets out. He's getting out of them. He's getting Sam Howell, who might be the guy that I pick up in my family league. Fucking Sam Howell, but like he's getting production out of Sam Howell, and I just got shot in the ass, Brian Robinson, and
Yeah, he's having a good year.
he's getting it. But like, God, man, have some balls once in a while, you fucking cuck. Jesus. Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Let's stick with the somewhat negativity.
Oh man,
What?
I'm so high right now. I have no idea what's going on.
Let's get it with you, Dave. What are you getting high on?
We already talked about it a little bit, but I'm just gonna bring it. Well, we could go through it real quickly here. I'm not, like at this point, I'm not even mad, but I'm just like Joey B, my boy. What has happened? What has happened? What happened to you? You are a shell of your former self. I have no idea what the issue is. Like I said, at this point, I can't even be mad because I just don't understand what is wrong. But what is wrong, Joey B? In 4 games, 57% completion, 728 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. In 4 fucking games. That is horrendous, dude. That is absolutely horrendous. You have arguably the number 2. You could flip them double J or Jamar Chase. You could flip them 1 or 2. You have arguably one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Higgins is by far one of the best number 2s. Tyler Boyd is easily one of the best number 3s on a team. I mean, Joe Mixon can catch passes. He's not known as a pass catching back, but he can catch passes. It's like everything is there for you, bro. Like the world is your oyster, and you are screwing the pooch right now.
Yeah, he really is.
Jeez,
it's really bad. It's really bad to watch that offense with the players that they have, to see them struggle so much, and to only have 3 touchdowns on the season.
2.
Mixon,
he's got 2 touchdowns.
Joe has 2, but I think as a whole, I think Mixon
yeah.
only has 1.
Yeah, Mixon's got 1. Joe's got 2.
He scored last week. So this high-powered offense that everybody was so high on and hyped about, and Joe Burrow this, Joe Burrow that. He's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And for them to be doing what they're doing, it's just, I don't know what's going on over there. Zach Taylor needs to to do something as a head coach to get these guys rolling.
I mean,
And if Joe Burrow is hurt, then you gotta get him healthy.
I just to toot my horn from last year, I was very high on that. Zach Taylor's an overrated head coach, and the team in general is a bit bland and overrated. And I was wrong last year. I bought into it this year. I took Chase in a couple leagues, in which Chase is still fine. Look, I never made the decision.
He's still getting the targets, yeah.
I never took Chase over Jefferson, but I probably would have. And there was one league that I did take Chase over Christian McCaffrey, and I'm kicking myself in the dick over it, honestly. Like, and that's because I finally accepted after the Bengals fucking owned us in the playoffs. I finally gave in and said, okay, I guess they're not as overrated as I said. I guess Zach Taylor is an offensive genius. Okay, I'm going to buy into the Bengals, and they fucked me all year so far. And that's what I get for not sticking to my fucking guns, because 90% of the time I'm usually right. God damn it. But is it an injury?
Yeah.
You know what? If it's an injury thing, then you're a shitty head coach for not making the thing that's right for the team, because you're 1-3. Yeah. You're 1-3, Zach Taylor. So go ahead, put Joe Burrow out there. Let him be dog shit. Let him get hurt worse just because he's the highest paid quarterback in the league. Well, I think Pat is now, but still. Like, ridiculous. And it's bad coaching, like I've said from the get-go.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And you know, we've said it on the podcast before. You know, this is T. Higgins' contract here. Like, we were looking for him to ball, and he hasn't really done anything. He's had a lot of drops. I've watched Bengals. I have stock in T. Higgins, and now he's hurt, and who knows how long that's going to be.
Broken rib.
Yeah, so he's going to be maybe out for a little bit. That contract here is looking pretty grim for T. Higgins.
Yeah,
and T. Higgins owners they should be a little concerned.
And Chaz, you talked about this a lot. Like, we know that this offense is bland. We know it's a bland offense. It's a very basic scheme, and it's you were right that defenses are going to start to key on this. But with this player skill set, it still shouldn't matter this much.
I completely agree.
Even in a basic skill set, this team should be able to produce more than what they're producing. It's absolutely insane that they're doing as bad as they are.
And they've played 3 divisional games. That's a tough division with a lot of good defenses, and I'll give them the break. And then they beat on the Rams. But, like, I don't know. I'm not selling Chase. I'm hanging on to Chase because look, he can do better. He had a great game last week when they decided to focus on him. And then this week, they just don't focus on – I don't even know what they did this week. Like, I didn't watch the game, but how do you have Chase at least last week get, 100 and something yards and 10, 11 receptions, and then you don't focus on him this week? It just doesn't – I don't know. Because he didn't have a good game, and Higgins didn't have a good game, and Mixon didn't have a good game. So what the fuck did they do on the offense?
Yeah, and this offense can't even move the ball, and that's sad because their kicker, Evan McPherson, he was like the number 1 kicker last year. I think he was perfect on extra points, perfect on field goals, and they're not even scoring points. They scored 3 points in 2 games this season so far, and it's bad. It's bad football. It's bad coaching. I don't know what's going on in Cincinnati.
So I'll have a little more fun get high here. Let's bring it up a little bit. My get high is a little more fun. We're sticking with the AFC North, and I'm so high right now. We're gonna go with Jesus. What is his name? Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore. This dude takes a fucking end around. The cornerback is there, so he turns around and literally runs 20 yards backwards and gets tackled. Oh, no, yep. He runs out of bounds. 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage instead of taking the 3-yard loss. So I did start Elijah Moore in one league, and in the Fantasy Football Bros League, matter of fact, instead of Romeo Dobbs, who's just killing it every week because for some reason I love Romeo Dobbs, but I won't put him in my goddamn lineup. So I figure, I outsmart myself. Oh, okay, Deshaun Watson's hurt. I will put in Elijah Moore because he's a little bit of a short area guy, and they'll pepper him with targets. Nope. The dude gets fucking 40 yards and then loses a 20-yard rush and loses 2 points. He got like 2 points on the day, and because he had to decide to run backwards 20 yards. I've liked Elijah Moore from the moment he came in this league. I'm not like saying I'm putting him in the graveyard per se, but man, he was just so high. Like, who the fuck does that?
Yeah, that was brutal. That was a tough game to watch as well with no Deshaun Watson. I mean, it's Cleveland. I don't really plan on watching too many Cleveland games. But
I feel like some of these players, man, it's just like it's probably different when you got the helmet strapped on and you got like another dude just trying to murder your face. But like, I sometimes just don't understand like what goes through their head. Like, did Moore really think he's gonna backtrack like 20 yards and then all of a sudden like break it out of nowhere for like a 60-yarder streaking down the other side? Like, what goes through your head like when you do shit like that
Against Baltimore's defense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
He must have been high though, for sure.
That's the only answer. That's the only answer. All right, Adam, we getting high on.
I am getting high on the Swifties and the Brittany Mahomes fans that have been at war since she has been in the box for Travis Kelce, hanging out with Mama, hanging out with her crew.
Jake from State Farm.
And Jake from State Farm. So, with that being said, my real get high is on the NFL. The NFL here, they love showing Taylor Swift. Did you see who she came to the game with?
Like, yeah.
She walks in the back with Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, Hugh Jackman, and a couple other superstars, and they focused solely on Taylor Swift. I get it. She's a pop star. She's a mega hit.
The biggest star in the world.
NFL, you got some big names at this game. Let's get some airtime for Wolverine and Deadpool and these guys that have been in blockbuster movies. Like whoever is the marketing guy for the NFL, like, oh my goodness.
No, they're doing crazy. The smart thing. They're putting the biggest star in the world on their primetime game.
And that's totally fine. But like, you gotta give some love to these other guys too. Like, you know, you want to focus on Taylor Swift in the suite, fine. She walks in back, in the locker room and everything, and Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, like, didn't even mention it. Didn't even care. They were like, "Oh, look, Taylor Swift is here. Taylor Swift is here." But you know, like, good for the NFL for that. But I am so high on everything about this Taylor Swift, you know, going at it with Swifties and not showing other stars at these games, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
All right. Well, let's get into a little positivity.
Time for a victory lap.
And I'm going to start the victory lap segment, and that is because I am taking a victory lap on myself again. Because of a call that I made at the beginning of the season, and you guys want to hear it? You want to hear the call? Because I have. Here we go. Listen, this is from before the season, before the draft, way before the draft. This is like in July. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy CHAZZ for the Fantasy Football Bros podcast, and here I am with today's Why Not? Why not David Montgomery as Detroit's #1 running back? Everybody at home is taking Jahmyr Gibbs ahead of David Montgomery, and I think that is the wrong move. Look at Dan Campbell's history. Back when he was in New Orleans, they have the young electric Alvin Kamara. They run Mark Ingram into the ground. Last year, young electric DeAndre Swift, they run Bumbles Jamal Williams into the ground. If there's anybody that's just like those two running backs, it is David Montgomery. David Montgomery should be drafted before Jahmyr Gibbs in every single draft. The history shows it, and if you believe that Dan Campbell is going to take the young talented back instead of the bumbly slow guy to run up the middle, you crazy. David Montgomery as Detroit's #1 running back, why not? Victory lap, y'all. Come on.
I mean, yeah, but like, duh.
No, not because that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Everybody just thinks Dan Campbell is gonna. No. We everyone was excited because they were jerking off in the fucking war room when they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. Good. Good. Go ahead. Run them 3 times and throw them once. Like
This was my draft sheet before we even started drafting, and this was me before even going into the draft, just crossing Jahmyr Gibbs' name right off my list.
Yeah. To be fair, I have officially 0 shares of Jahmyr Gibbs, and I have Montgomery in 2 or 3 of my 5 teams.
Exactly.
So, and no, I didn't ever take. Even though I said to do it, I never took Montgomery over Gibbs, but that's because I never took Gibbs because he was gone way before I was comfortable, and people were leaving him there.
Gibbs was getting drafted as an RB2.
Yeah, absolutely was, and it's just
And look how much better you guys have eyes. It's been 4 weeks. Y'all used to joke around and dunk on me about DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is a better running back than Jahmyr Gibbs, and there's no doubt about it in my mind after 4 weeks. None. 0%. DeAndre Swift is quicker. He hits the hole harder. He has definitely well, I don't know about better hands, but just as good as hands. There's nothing you can say about Jahmyr Gibbs that's better than DeAndre Swift, and they fucking sold the guy out for a 4th-round pick to take another running back to use Bumbles. Ridiculous. And it's, I'm not even going to dunk on Dan Campbell here, and it's not even dunking on Dave Montgomery because he's killing it. Dave Montgomery's killing it. He missed a game and is still probably the number 1 running back and number 2 running back in fantasy football, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
So.
I mean, I think the best thing about this situation is like good for DeAndre Swift and for David Montgomery because they both got out of being on shitty teams to go to better teams. DeAndre Swift, obviously leaving Detroit to go to a legitimate Super Bowl contender, and David Montgomery getting out of the suck hole that is Chicago and at least going to a team that has a chance to do something. I mean, I think this worked out for everybody except for Jahmyr Gibbs, who got drafted by the wrong team.
Completely agree. Completely agree with that.
Fun fact I heard today. There are 2 0-4 teams in the NFL right now. Do you guys know who they are?
I just saw this actually. Shit.
It is the aforementioned Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
And the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, yeah, Carolina.
The Carolina Panthers traded their 1st-round pick next year to who? The Chicago Bears. So right now, the Chicago Bears, if the season ended, have the 1st and 2nd overall draft picks in the NFL draft.
Unbelievable.
So they could. And who's to say Chicago and Carolina are going to be any better?
Sadly, I don't think having the 1st and 2nd overall pick will help them next year.
Well, it depends. If they're smart and they draft one of the QBs, whether you like Caleb Williams or Drake May, and then you pair him with Marvin Harrison Jr., then that's the smart way to go. Or if they go in there and go, we're going to take this left tackle and this defensive tackle. Okay, good job. Like, no. Absolutely.
I guess that really depends on Chicago if they're really in on Justin Fields or not.
If they
But honestly, even if they are, I'm still taking Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams and Drake May are much better prospects. So then you take them and you trade away Fields. You know, you trade Fields to Denver.
Or just don't pick up his contract.
I think he's still got 1 more year. But still, you do something like that. All right, so I thought that was an interesting stat.
Either way.
Dave, let's go with you taking a victory lap.
All right, this week, my victory lap, so in week 2, after the waiver wire situation, I got a little comment from CHAZZ, both on the podcast and in the group text, and I took that comment and I folded it up and I kept it in my pocket until right now, and I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to take a victory lap on my boy, Puka Nacua.
Okay, good job.
Who at 163 yards and a TD, people were kind of like, I understand that in the beginning of the season, there's usually a guy that's a flash in the pan that has a game out of nowhere, and you grab that guy off the waiver wire, and he doesn't do anything the rest of the season.
But there's Kevin Ogletree ring a bell.
There's also that situation, though, where you grab a guy off the waiver wire week 1, and he ends up being a legitimate stud for the rest of the season. And I do think Puka Nacua has the chance to do it. Even when Cooper Kupp comes back, I know his production is definitely going to go down, but I still think as a waiver wire grab, this dude he's just absolutely insane. Through 4 games this season, 39 receptions, already over 500 yards. Yeah, I'm taking a victory lap
It's,
on
I mean,
Puka.
the best waiver wires are either him or the same team, Kyron Williams. I mean, those
Yeah.
guys, they're both crushing it. But, there is a chance that, when Cup comes back, that Puka's still good. I mean, there's
I
three
agree.
things that can happen. Cup comes back and Puka's dog water. Cup comes back and Puka's still all right and Cup is fantastic. Or Cup comes back and they're both kind of eating into each other and they're both mid. You know what I mean? Like, and that could be bad for everyone involved if that's the case. But the Rams are playing a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, they are, and Stafford looks good. Well, not good, but sufficient.
But it's funny.
He's getting the ball to his guy. Puka Nacua is the real deal. I don't see a scenario where they stop using this kid. I don't. Even when Cup comes back, he's eligible to practice on Wednesday. I don't know. I think they both have good seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously still, I'm not being ridiculous here. Cooper Kupp is the wide receiver one here, but
Sure,
I do think for a waiver wire grab, this is a guy that like I've been starting in my flex spot because it's just been a waiver wire grab. I mean, just been lights out in a flex role. He'd just been lights out. Like what a snag.
Here's the thing to think about with Puka Nacua, and I'm going to give him love here. Right now, he is outpacing Calvin Johnson from 2012 and Cooper Kupp from 2021. Those are the two greatest receiving yardage seasons ever. He's outpacing Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp's pace. By the way, who is the quarterback for both of those guys?
The one and only Rocket Arm Stafford.
Right. So it's like there's a chance Puka Nacua could have a Cooper Kupp season. And there's a chance that he could just disappear off the face of the earth. There's a chance that Cooper Kupp doesn't come back. I've heard nothing about the guy. They're already talking about Jonathan Taylor ramping up and ready to run and doing what he's got to do. I've heard nothing about Cooper Kupp. Have you guys? I've heard nothing.
The only thing that I heard was that he's eligible to practice on Wednesday. That was the only update that I've gotten on.
I mean, there's a chance.
Heard about how he's progressing with the hamstring. Hamstrings are tricky. We've said this before on the podcast. Actually, I think Dave has said that hamstrings are tricky. You never know what's going to happen with a hamstring injury, and that was Keenan Allen's thing last year. Is every week they were like, "Oh, you could come back," and he's like, "Nope, I'm not ready yet." It's like, okay.
And that was Michael Thomas, if you guys remember, 2 years ago. Michael Thomas
before the ankle injury.
Yep, he was on IR. He's on IR. He's going to come back. He's eligible to return. He ain't ready. He's out for the year now. So, like, I mean, there's that chance. I just don't want everyone to forget about that. Like, I would love to see Cooper Kupp come back. I have 0 shares of him, but like, this guy's a great player for the league. Let him come back. But like, it's scary to see. So, but good job, Dave. Congratulations on the nice pickup of Hakuna Matata Puka Nacua. And taking victory lap. That's a great one. All right,
I gotta take a victory lap just because I've picked up so much garbage on the waiver wire to actually grab something that of value once. I gotta gloat a little bit.
That's good. All right, Adam.
Yes. My victory lap goes out to me this week, and here's why. I am currently winning, and the game is over now. Monday Night Football is done. Seattle wins 24-3. The score in my matchup right now is 121.92 to 121.36. I pull out the smallest margin of victory this week because Tyler Lockett couldn't catch one more pass at the end of the game because they were just running the clock out. So my victory lap goes to me for that small margin. But I'm going to take the win on that one because I needed it in the Fantasy Football Bros League. So here we are.
What? So it was point what? What did you win by?
121.92 to 121.36, barring any stat changes and corrections. Hopefully none come. But as of right now, that is the margin of victory.
0.6.
And I'm going to say that I love you, bro, but I'm going to take a shit on your victory lap because I just checked and I just lost because Tyler Lockett did not get enough points.
Well, I am sorry to hear that. But my victory lap is about me, not you. So
I got you.
I'm taking the win and I'm taking the victory.
I got you actually beat, Adam, because I won my game in this other league, 137.08 to 136.58. So I won by 0.5 points. So, like, ridiculous.
That's okay. Again, my victory lap is about the Fantasy Football Bros League. I don't care about your other league.
Again, my victory lap is about me, and y'all
That's
can
right.
go shit on yourselves.
Right.
Damn right.
That's okay.
And
Fantasy football
Mark's Majestic Team. I don't know who that is.
Goose.
Okay. Well, he's going to be very upset.
That's Goose. That's okay. Chad fucking brought the fucking wood to me. He beat me by 50 points. So good job, Chad. Fuck you. Well, I didn't do so well in our spread league this week, but whatever. This league's gonna get thrown out for me, right, Dave?
Yeah, you get a week thrown out.
I got the last 2 weeks I had like 13 and 10 right. This week in the spread league I had 4 right.
Is that what it is? It's your lowest scoring week. It's thrown out, right?
Lowest scoring week gets thrown out. So if you got a shit week, you're not out of it. I honestly think after Chaz going 4 and 12, would you 4 and 12?
That might be the lowest. Yeah.
Yeah, you are probably still in like second place because of the 2 incredible weeks you had before that.
Yeah, I did. So like, yeah, that just interesting. So, all right. So for our song of the week choices, I'm taking today, but you guys are all going to have weeks coming up. If you remember, we pick spoopy songs. We pick spooky songs, songs that are either about something scary or have a scary sound or whatever. Adam already took Thriller last year and whatever. So like, keep that in mind for your song picks coming up. If you pick something again, that's fine, whatever. But I'm going to start it, and this song's got a creepy feel to it. We're going a little old school new metal. We're going Static X So Cold. That's what we're going to do today. That's got a nice creepy feel. So yep. So Static X, is actually coming to the Riverworks in Buffalo with Seven Dust and Dope, and I know Rockstar Robbie Vegas is going, and I might be joining him. So keep that in mind, guys. If anybody wants to go see a good show,
I can't believe Dope is still a band.
Well, the funny thing is that Dope. Me and Robbie love Dope. Singer of Static X, Wayne Static, has passed away, and the singer of Dope plays the part of Wayne Static in Static X. He puts on the hair, like kind of like a mask thing, and sings like him, and it works. And it's like, whatever. I'm not one of those guys that's like, well, Wayne Static's dead, I'm never gonna go see the band. Like, no, I'll go see him. I'll let him give the band and the family some money and all that stuff. So Cold by Static X. Jay, thank you for joining us. All right, buddy. Thank you. This is my fault, guys. I was late.
Wow.
Jay.
Wow, that was cold.
That was cold, bro.
That was definitely cold.
So cold, like Static X. So, all right. Well, Pickles has got a little like runny eye, so I got to go take care of my baby. So, Adam, as always, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Dave, the fantasy football surgeon, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure as always. And
until then, guys, we will see you next time. Peace.
Yes. Later, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Get at it.
Yeah, bitch.
Yes. The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.